Adam,
What's up, Steven?
nothing much. How you doing?
Doing well. Flew in last night. Excited to be here.
Where'd you fly in from?
Chicago. Big
Cool.
Chicago. You know what?
Yeah?
I just learned that the ground zero for mass deportations are going to be in Chicago. So this week, I'm going to be on the ground with Tom Homan. I don't know if he's going to be there, but they're going to send like a few hundred ICE agents and start deporting people. So
That's crazy.
yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any illegal immigrant friends we need to know about?
No, but the ones that voted for MAGA I already reported to ICE anyway, so it's fucking...
Jesus. How do you feel about that? Do you think people should be reporting illegal immigrant MAGA supporters?
Probably not. I mean...
Really?
no.
Probably not?
You were
What a
just saying
weak-
you feel cynical, like... so
That
you
was
think-
off camera.
Yeah.
Now you're bringing that up?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Why don't you bring up how you've been grifting the whole time? And you
I'm a
actually, you voted
huge-
for Trump in 3 different elections.
Yeah.
It's not even allowed to.
Huge.
You were
grifter.
11 years old at the ballot box.
I voted for Trump 3 times in the past election because, you know, the liberals stole 2020, so I was like, I gotta...
In base.
Yeah.
It can't be too big to rig if you've got... Make a clever rhyme.
Too big to rig if you got...
Yikes.
No.
That's why we don't freestyle here.
Yo, but we should introduce me to your audience because... I don't know
Oh,
if you
yeah.
know me. Yeah.
Beasley Luke?
Yeah.
That's your name?
No. Are you
Wait,
Piker?
Parker?
Yeah.
Oh, good one.
Ooh.
Wow, nice.
No.
We're joined here by the Mockler.
Yeah.
The
Adam
Mockler. Adam Mockler.
We've only interacted a few times, not really on stream, but we did one panel together. But I'm Adam Mockler.
Wait, what was the panel we did?
I was in Wisconsin. Remember, we were in the car after and we were talking about...
Yeah, I remember hanging out after. I'm trying to remember what the fuck the panel was
It was
about,
me, you, Erudite, Hutch. It was just like...
though. Oh, it was just like a chill.
Yeah, chill panel. It was a DGG canvassing event.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so I'm partnered with Midas Touch, one of the fastest growing online media companies. We interviewed Biden a few weeks back, one of his final interviews. I've been to, my boss did, you know, it's whatever. But
No, it's good, yeah.
I've been to like 30 to 40 different Trump rallies, and each one is more brain rotted than the last. But yeah, I mean, I started doing this when I was 21 years old, and I've been growing my audience pretty quickly. And now
That seemed like a long time ago? Because you're 22 now, aren't you?
Yeah, I've learned a lot. I was young and naive when I started at 21, but now I'm 22 years old. I've learned a lot. You get fucked over on multiple contracts, and you begin to realize, like, dude.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you, right now, what I'm in is great, but I could tell you some stories of my cameraman fucking me over, stealing footage from me, extorting me for shit. This has all happened in the past year.
Oh my God.
Dude, and it's like...
Your cameraman?
My cameraman that I trusted, we went to a bunch of MAGA rallies together, and this dude, I told him that, like, I'm gonna have to take a break using him as a cameraman, and honestly makes me seem like an idiot too. He privates our Google Drive where we had a bunch of shared MAGA footage.
Damn.
And I should have downloaded it. I should have backed it up. I should have made him sign something where I own all the footage, because I didn't realize that if you own the camera and you shoot off of that camera, the ownership of the footage goes to you. And this dude has no use for my MAGA fucking footage. So then he was like, you either send me 10K or you never see the footage again.
Damn.
And I just blocked him on everything.
That's great. Cake does this. I've got a web dev, and he does this like every like 3 months. I don't know if he's got a drug habit or what, but he'll be like, hey, by the way, your site went down. And I'll be like, well, what's going on? He's like, I need 15K to bring it back up. I'm like, seriously? And he's like, okay, good luck. And then I'm like, fuck. And he changes the password to all my server logins and I don't know what the site runs on or whatever.
It's like an abusive relationship.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. I tried to bring it up last time, and he's like, here you go, buddy. And he links me to www.apache.com. I have no idea. I don't know what any of this shit
He's
is.
like, put 15K in Trump's
Yeah.
new meme coin, and you get all your
Unbelievable.
stuff back. Yeah.
15K. Oh, man. Thank you for reminding me. I need to go and buy, do you think it's listed on Coinbase yet? What is
I
it?
don't know.
$DJT, guys.
Yeah.
Buy Trump coin.
No,
Support
it's just
America.
Trump, I think.
Oh.
Isn't it? I mean, why are we telling them where to go find it? But
So
it's
that
like,
they can support America.
yeah.
Because the dollar buy-in probably goes to like supporting America or something, right? Like
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
Trump merchandise. Did you know that when you know that none of the Trump shit, sorry, I'm switching to real.
No, you're good.
You know that none of the Trump stuff goes to the campaign, right?
What does it go to? Like other PACs or something?
No. That was cute, but no, it just goes to him personally. It's just enriching him personally.
Shit.
Like if you look at the
Trump? No.
yes, yeah, crazy, I know, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the fine text on the websites for any of like the Trump Bible, the Trump cards, the Trump gold, the Trump, all of that, if you read the fine text, it says all of it. None of it is going to any political campaign or anything. That's just Trump.
You know,
selling
80%
shit.
of this Trump coin is
Held by insiders?
Owned by insiders, and it vests throughout his presidency. I think over the next 6 to 12 months, it unlocks. So I don't know. That tells me that it won't be like an immediate rug pull. They'll slowly be taking out liquidity, right, and then just enriching themselves. Is that right? Is that the right read? Or they just have really good intentions and they just want to save America. And,
Maybe that 80% should just stay strong
Yeah.
to keep pumping the coin up for all of those lovely fans that come in, you know?
We're a little bit cooked. We're a little bit cooked, but it's okay. You know what cooked means, or is that Zoomer slang I have to explain to you?
Cooked means like the temperature's getting higher, so the tensions are growing.
Exactly.
Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, later on we should watch some of these MAGA clips so we could just talk about how dumb these people are. But also some of these are like perfect examples of how these people think. I can ask them like, do you trust this institution? No. Mike Pence, no. Bill Barr, no. No. And then I'm like, but you trust Donald Trump? They're like, of course. Like Trump and Mike Lindell are my saviors. And it's insane. Yeah.
I will say it's really hard to find a high quality pillow for the low cost of $14.88. So I thank Mike for that.
Yeah. Just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Coincidence. Sam Hyde vibes. Sam Hyde's favorite pillow.
A little, although Lindell is actually probably crazier. Not like more racist or more Nazi, but just crazier. That guy's just insane.
Yeah, but like Lindell, I've talked to him a few times. I had a whole Lindell debate, and he had like 15 Trump supporters. It was literally like 30 Trump supporters yelling at me, calling me a libtard and shit. And Mike Lindell grabs my shoulder. He's like, this guy works for Dominion Voting. He works for Smartmatic. And the Trump supporters are screaming at me. It's one of my most viral videos. But
Damn.
This dude believes everything he says. He's so caught up in the lie. And I think it's like meth brain or whatever. He's so, you know about that, right?
What do you mean by that?
But he's so caught up in the fucking lie that he believes all of it. Yeah. I don't know.
Do you really think he believes it?
Mike Lindell, he's a true believer. In every movement, there's true believers. Mike Lindell is a true believer to the fullest. Do you think he doesn't?
I haven't spoke to him. I'm not sure.
Doesn't he spend like millions of his own dollars trying to fight these cases and shit like that?
Yeah, but I don't know if he's spending that money to like curry favor and then or whatever. Like it's hard to say. Like I don't think Tim Pool, for instance, he's not a true believer.
No. Tim Pool is just
he's a liar.
disingenuous.
Yeah, he's a fucking liar. He knowingly lies about basically every single thing he says on his program.
Yeah.
If he disagrees with that, he can sue me. You know that he tried to sue. Oh, his lawsuit against the Kamala campaign. Did you follow that at all?
No. Fill me in.
He sued them because he didn't like that they quoted a tweet of theirs and he said it was not good or whatever. He didn't like it was like misrepresenting him. That the whole lawsuit was bullshit. He filed it and then they withdrew it. He just wanted to be able to say that he was suing the campaign, and then they withdrew it for no reason.
Really Trumpian tactic.
Yeah. Well, no, because Trump at least like tries to follow through and bully people with lawsuits. Tim Pool is too much of a cowardly fuck to actually even go through with it. So
You know what I always find really interesting? Have you ever done research on Roy Cohn, the dude that basically, like, he's a New York lawyer that trained Trump in the ways of deception? Have you ever heard about that?
Is this the guy that supposedly actually wrote The Art of the Deal, or?
I don't know about that.
Okay,
but
then
Roy
I don't
Cohn,
know.
like,
No.
he just told them, like, always deflect, deny, sue back, countersue. There's a photo when Trump was getting sued by the DOJ. I think it was in the 70s or 80s. Roy Cohn taught him, always hold the press conference to control the narrative. Always countersue. That's how you control the narrative. So you can see this photo from like 40 years ago. Trump's first lawsuit Trump's first press conference after a lawsuit. And then now, after the E. Jean Carroll shit, after the Jack Smith shit, he still holds these press conferences. You can like track it back to Roy Cohn. It's pretty interesting stuff.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know if you care, but it's interesting stuff.
Interesting stuff. You should always countersue, I think. There's no penalty for it. You're already in court anyway.
Yeah, it's not some like unique.
But it might be that, but Trump's like offense works really well.
That's what he taught him.
But it's also like the Republican Party was, I think, uniquely primed to fall into that trap of whatever hero idol worship that they're in right now. I think they were probably a little bit primed for it, unfortunately.
But you know they called Obama the deporter in chief, right?
Thanks, Piers.
Piers Morgan quote. I don't know why.
He loves bringing that one up.
Yeah.
It's like his fucking, like if he was a WWE fighter, that would be like his signature finisher move.
It's like Tim Pool when he's like, well, Obama killed an American citizen, and he uses that to write off. You know what I'm talking about?
They haven't read a single memo. I hate these guys. Tim should have, honest to God, I wish that Luke needs to just trend up and beat the shit out of these people when they try to bully him on these shows.
He did well on the last appearance.
He did. He's done well on almost everyone I've seen.
Yeah.
When Tim like did that whole like fucking soy rant, you could see the estrogen like fucking like oozing out of his eye sockets, and he's like, "You don't even fucking, you liberals don't fucking read anything. You don't fucking know anything about George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery. You don't read anything." And then Luke's like, and then it's funny because Luke just like kind of dispassionately like laid everything out, and then Tim Pool was like, well, let's go check that out. And the fucking retard doesn't know how to do anything besides Wikipedia, so he's on the wiki trying to read the criminal shit.
He's so disingenuous. He's like, there's no sources here. Why are there no sources rather than just pulling up the fucking indictment? It's like, what the fuck?
The funniest thing was when they tried to move on, Luke was like, wait, hold on. Are you guys going to admit that you were wrong on everything you just said, right? You were completely wrong. And it's crazy too, because it's like, it almost feels like a skit where like you have like an interview and then like part of the joke is that like you just throw in another person when the camera switches. Because I swear to God, like midway through that conversation, the camera switches like a fifth conservative. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And it's just crazy that Luke is there and there's like 5 other conservatives and not a single person besides Luke knows a single fucking fact about any of that case. I bet these guys could fucking rattle off like the entire family lineage of every single person that was in Burisma.
Yeah.
But they're like, elected? I've never heard of that.
Sure,
Enrique Tarrio? I don't even know. Like, you didn't know a single fucking thing? Like, you know everything about the vague, nebulous accusations against Hunter Biden, but you don't know about the seditious conspiracy convictions of these other guys? How is that possible?
Does it bother you that these people won? Like, it has to. It bothers me a lot that, like, all the dumbest people I knew from high school
cannot win. The only thing that can happen is we will just all lose. So that's what's happening right now. We're all losing.
All my friends from high school, they know that I'm into content shit. They know that I have a YouTube channel that's like pretty big, like 750K, and they were just hitting me up after the election, and they were just like, "How do you feel? You fucking libtard, blah blah blah." I'm like, I don't know. You're not supposed to flex on people with like behind the scenes how much I make, but I just didn't want. I didn't know how to. I'm just
flex on them. That's what you do.
Yeah.
How do I feel? I'm about to save more on my taxes than you made last year. That's how I feel.
Yeah,
you broke. Yeah. Just kidding.
No,
we have to be compassionate.
But like, I want to ask. You know how you got a little drunk on election night? You teed up a little bit. You were definitely.
I was faking it. But go ahead.
Yeah, faking it all. When you woke up the next morning, was there like an oh shit moment where you rolled over? Like, no, that couldn't have been real. Like that. Like, what was your reaction when you sobered up the next morning?
Honest to God, the biggest. I already said this, that one of the things that conservatives are really good is they're good at making us kind of like accept how fucked reality is. And what we're fighting for is like if 0 is neutral and 10 is good and -10 is bad, we should always be fighting for 10. But the conservatives have mind fucked into like fighting for -2 while they're fighting for like -8. And we're just in this weird world where we're not even really, like the ground is so uneven. Like in my mind, the only acceptable outcome for that election would have been bare minimum like a Reagan tier, like 49 state, if not 50 state sweep. Everything that Trump has done is just so far beyond the pale that like even if she would have won all 7 swing states, I would still be incredibly disappointed in this country. So
like we knew it was 50-50 going into it, but the thought of a second Trump term was still unfathomable to me. Not like statistically, like I knew that there was a chance, but just the thought of the dude who couped the Capitol, genuinely going back to the Capitol and swearing an oath to the Constitution and putting his hand on the Bible one more time. It's almost an unfathomable thought.
It's crazy.
Did you have like an oh shit moment the next morning where like this can't be the reality? It was like the worst fucking timeline.
I think I just spent so much time online. I always know that it can be.
Yeah.
It's always possible.
I remember my oh shit moment, and like I took it well. I didn't really care. I was on stream most of the night and I was just like chilling. But afterwards, there was a moment where I was sitting there. I was like, Elon Musk and RFK Jr., these motherfuckers basically just rolled us. Like they won.
The Elon stuff is so crazy, but I think I'd already like been dealing with that for like the months leading up to it.
Yeah.
Like the fact that, do you remember when it must have only been like half a year ago when Elon was tweeting out the fact that I upset the right and the left the same amount is actually so important, and it shows how objective I am, right? Do you remember him tweeting
this out? It was like 8 months before the election, he was saying he's not going to donate to either side.
Yeah. And then he's like, $1 million if you're from a swing state, maybe you enter a raffle, and if you vote for whatever, if you sign up to vote or whatever.
Is he fucking with us? So when he posts this photo, and it's like after the election, it was a photo of the U.S. map, and he said, "Look at all the red voters," and he doesn't understand the population density of cities. He's being disingenuous there, right? Like there's no way. I legitimately
can't tell. I cannot tell with Elon. Like Trump, I legitimately believe, and I would put money on it that Trump is like like
he's dumb, yeah.
He's below standard intelligence. Yeah. I don't believe that Trump is. For Elon, I super can't tell because he just makes so many stupid fumbles. Like this whole video game Path of Exile shit and the stuff with Asmongold is like, this is so cringe. Yeah. I can't believe this.
Arguing with a cockroach infested. Have you ever seen that clip where Asmongold's like, I wake up every morning with a rat by my window, and once the sun hits that rat and it starts to smell, that's when I wake up. I don't know if he's being serious or not, but that's literally what
I don't know if he's being serious or not, but
but now the Elon shit is fucked up. It's kind of a trip. And you know, sometimes I think that for as much of an idiot Trump is, he did kind of roll the Democratic Party twice. And honestly, 2020 was kind of an outlier. Like Biden won by what was it, 11,000 votes in Georgia or whatever, and that was mainly due to the pandemic. Close. Yeah, so like for as much of an idiot Trump is, he kind of does out-strategize us.
No, he doesn't.
You don't think so?
He's just a good guy in the right place at the right time, I think. The Republicans as a whole have been working really hard to build the advantages that they enjoy now.
But like so here's a few things. I remember in 2016, Rachel Maddow did this. I got Trump's tax returns. Stupid. I finally got the tax returns.
And it was like 2 pages of a 1040 from like 2011.
2005, and he actually paid, I think, 40 million on like 170 million. So like it was actually in his favor. And there are now theories that Trump's team released that. So maybe this isn't Trump. Maybe his team knows how to outplay the media. But then that undermines the credibility of the media. And also, when we call him a felon over and over and over, we thought that was like a really good own. He's a fucking felon. That actually plays in favor of him because his whole thing is these institutions are going to start targeting me. The institutions are going to begin to target you. I'm just standing in the way. They're all corrupt. All these corrupt institutions don't want me back in the presidency. So when we say that he's a felon, it's almost like we're marketing for him. And I'm not saying that he's some like fucking 40 chess master.
That's not a 40 chess master.
It's just like...
That's like saying, that would be like me saying like, guys... After this vacation I take in Cancun, all of my haters are going to call me a murderer and a rapist. And then I go to Cancun and I like murder and rape a bunch of people and I come back and it's like, look at what they're saying. And then you're like, God, Destiny's like he's actually like a political mastermind. Like, how is he able to maneuver? It's like, no, that's not being a political mastermind. The real mastery that conservatives have done, and Trump doesn't get credit for this, the real mastery that conservatives have done is conservatives have done a really good job at casting themselves as the villain and like the victor simultaneously at all points in time. They're so good at occupying both of these roles, and somehow the the centrist people got like sucked into this, and now you've got these Silicon Valley people that are all worshiping Trump, and then you've got all these like the UFC people and the MMA people and all the athletic people, and then the fucking like all these different communities somehow all got sucked into the anti-woke communities, and it's just super cringe because now you're in this world where the right will always suck them off, the centrists will always suck them off, and then the left is like so scared of being called Trump derangement syndrome that they won't be critical of him. And so like the final example, like whenever people say like, look at how bad the mainstream media is, they don't mean the mainstream media. They just mean CNN and MSNBC. You've never in your life heard one of these centrists, one of these like fucking losers on their knees with a fucking cocksuck collar like fucking Joe Rogan. You've never seen one of these guys ever say the mainstream media is just in a horrible state right now. Did you see what happened on Fox News? They don't say this. It's always CNN and MSNBC. So fuck these guys. So
that being said, what approach, I'm going to put you on the spot like you were interviewing the DNC chair people. I didn't get to watch many of those, but I'm assuming you guys talked about this. What approach should the party take over the next few years to make sure we're effective? I feel like we don't have a punch right now.
We need way more slurs.
More slurs?
Absolutely.
Like, are you being like ironic or unironic? Like, if we
half ironic.
You think that if we had a candidate who said,
I think that if Kamala Harris would have called Trump the N-word on stage, I think he would have called her the N-word. I think that would have been her pop-off moment.
Yeah.
He absolutely would have lost his mind.
But like, actually,
and she could get away with it too, so it would be fine. That would have just been perfect.
He was close during that Black Journalist Conference. He was close. Did you read that Washington Post article where after the debate with Biden, Trump was on his plane and he wanted to tweet out, "My new nickname is Retard Joe Biden." Retarded Joe. Did you read that article? And then Susie Wiles and Chris LaCivita, his campaign managers and stuff, had to like reel him in basically and be like, "Hey, dude, you just had a huge win." Trump is just like innately drawn towards chaos, it feels like,
conflict
sometimes.
And ego. He's fragile, yeah.
So he wanted to call him Retard Joe Biden. Honestly, I think he still would have won. It
wouldn't have mattered. There's nothing that, because we all view it from, the thing too that's like hard is because we're playing with such different standards, is that like Trump can fail infinitely because to us it's like abhorrent, but to the other side it's literally fucking epic and hilarious every single time. Like if Trump were to accidentally push the wrong button when he was ordering like his daily Diet Coke or whatever, or his daily blowjob from any of the tech giants that now are on their knees for him daily, and he would accidentally like shoot a missile at some like city in Iowa, it would be fucking epic and hilarious.
Yeah.
That would just be it. They would literally all laugh. There's like nothing that Trump can do. Here's like a good question. Do you still go out and do these interviews with people?
Yeah.
This is a good question if it doesn't get you on any FBI lists. You would ask a conservative, is there any way that Donald Trump could die where you wouldn't think it was a conspiracy? I bet they wouldn't be able to list a single way.
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
If he had a heart attack, would you think he really did?
Yeah.
If he got in a car accident, if he got shot, obviously not. That's conspiracy, right? If his plane crashed, no way. That's conspiracy. There's no way that Donald Trump could die where it wouldn't be a conspiracy.
But like unironically, beyond slurs, beyond just hurling slurs at the other side, what do you think the strategy should be? Like if you were an advisor,
I think some of it is, so I feel like all the worlds have merged into one line. You ever watched Steins Gate?
No.
Fucking God, you're such a fucking zoomer.
I am
Fuck.
22. I don't know. This is old man stuff.
Okay, imagine there's like a Skibbity Toilet episode. Okay?
No, that's okay. I'm imagining it. Yeah.
All the realities have merged, and I think all the advice for being like a good YouTuber, a good president, I think it's all the same. One thing that Trump does really well, okay, is he's like, he feels relatable, and that he doesn't feel like a stiff, like, if you listen to Kamala Harris talk, she sounds like Vosh.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like sometimes like everything is like, I want it to be a quote that's going to be written down in a history book. I've seen Kamala do, I wish I remember what, but I've seen her do like interviews where she's like more loose, and she's actually a million times more
She's a cool
personable.
person, yeah. But
Yeah.
she, like, whoever her advisors were, also with Tim Walz, when they brought him in, he was supposed to be this relatable dude, and they kind of just like canned him in a way where he had to continue doing the same few lines over and over. They told him to stop doing the couch thing. It just, you want to know something interesting? I feel like I cut you off, but I didn't mean to.
No, go ahead.
While I was flying here, I was listening to Ezra Klein's new podcast. I don't listen to him much, but it's like all about attention within the Democratic Party and how the Republicans have found out how to dominate attention. The attention of the public.
Yeah, this is what this is what I was going to, going into the having like more personal people. The second thing I was going to say, like one of the things that helps me so much is streaming. And if you do regular video content, because it keeps you at the forefront of everybody's mind, and you can push through things, and you can keep being relevant, and you're always going to be making better career steps because you're getting live feedback for everything that you're doing. So you can see in real time how people feel about everything. And Trump is so good at being on Twitter and all that shit all the time that he's always in people's minds, and people are always talking about him. So you need somebody that's going to be, I don't want to say bombastic, but at least somebody that's a little bit more present like that. AOC was for a while.
Yeah. Have you seen the photo of Trump and Obama sitting next to each other? And I think I saw this on your Reddit. There was a line going across, and they have the same exact skin tone now because Trump is literally just a brown. But
I have not seen that,
But yeah, okay. Regarding attention, they were saying that like the interesting thing about Elon Musk isn't even his wealth anymore. I mean, of course that's interesting, but it's the amount of attention he controls on a day-to-day basis by owning Twitter.
Yeah.
And that Democrats, we don't have anyone like that. Like AOC, I think, is the closest thing we have to somebody who's incredibly just like charismatic. You listen when she's speaking, but other than that, we've got a lot of old politicians, and the right, and like all of Trump's cabinet, it's just full of TV personalities. Pete Hegseth, he plucked off of Fox News. I'm pretty sure Dr. Oz has a position. All these people.
He does. Oz is going to be the head of the FDA.
Oh, great. I wouldn't want him anywhere else, to be honest. But like, they're so good at controlling the attention of the public. And we're about to live in like a propaganda society, aren't we? We already do, but like
we already do.
It's about to get bad.
Yeah. It was really bad when Elon Musk was allowed to buy X and then use it to support a single candidate. But
yeah, but we couldn't telegraph that before. Like, we didn't see 2 years ago that he was actually, like you were just saying, like he was tweeting out, oh, I want to make both sides mad. And yes, it was clearly nefarious and clearly not something that should happen, but nobody knew he would go full-throated MAGA, like full-throated.
The issue is because we've allowed conservatives to lie so much and for so long that they can get away with doing anything because they're just going to say that the Democrats did it first.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do. They say it with Elon Musk, like, oh, well, you know, the Democrats are already doing this. If anybody does anything horrible, then the response is always like, oh, what? Like if you say like Donald Trump is going to kill half of America, and they'll be like, oh, what? Like Biden already did, like Obama already did, like the Democrats already did. So he's literally free to do anything. They say that when it comes to Kash Patel and all the potential investigations that could happen and everything. They're like, oh well, you know, you guys already did lawfare, and it's like, okay.
Are you saying Obama didn't genocide half of America? Are you trying to whitewash that?
With no trial,
yeah.
Obama genocided innocent American lives.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Tim Pool.
Where's Tim Pool? Yeah.
No.
It was absolutely fucking disgusting. Thank God we have those brave people that still protect American freedoms, like those 3 guys that stopped that horrible burglar, Ahmed Arbery, who was trying to break into that house.
I'm so glad they shot.
Thank
they had
God.
to shoot him in the back.
Those
That's how
3.
out of control he was. Yeah.
Did they really shoot him in the back?
I think they did shoot him in the back, right?
After he fought, they were fighting over a shotgun, and then he got Ahmed got shot. But I don't know if they shot him.
Maybe I'm just using lib talking points now. But
you probably are, yeah.
Yeah, but
you get lib-tarded.
Yeah, saw it on Twitter.
Probably.
Average Elon Musk post, but like, yeah, dude, we got to hold them accountable, and you know, I feel like that's just a platitude that we say a lot. Oh, they need to be held accountable, but how do we hold them accountable, Republicans? Other than just like making content, I make a bunch of videos a day, but how do we hold Republicans accountable for their lies or flip-flop?
I'll tell you how do we hold them accountable, but it's going to be when we're on Kick later. I can't say it on YouTube.
Okay, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
the realistic non-doomered version is the Democrats have 2 years to get their shit in line right now because we're not governing anything. We don't have any Congress and no executive branch. So the Democrats have 2 years to kind of get their shit in line. Usually incumbent parties lose their midterms, right?
Yeah.
incumbent lose their midterms, right? Or the party in power usually loses the midterms. So
Yeah.
we have an opportunity to do really well in the midterms. Trump has 2 years. Oh, one thing from the media perspective is like there has to be a careful tracking of and accounting of all of the promises that Trump made and absolutely will not keep. Here's another good question for conservatives. They won't have an answer, but ask a conservative, what could Trump do that would be like too far for you or not okay for you? Because the deficit's not going down. The debt's absolutely not going down, right? We are going to continue to deficit spend. Trump wants to extend the tax cuts. He's not going to pair that with any spending cuts.
The prices are going down, right?
Nope, that's not going to happen. Elon lied about finding $2 trillion in spending. Now he cut it down to $1 trillion in spending. It's going to be no trillion in spending because they want to increase the largest line item in our discretionary budget, which is the military. They're talking about huge increases for the military. So all of that was a lie. No wars, I guess that was just a funny meme. That was a lie. I know it's like a joke now, but I really do feel like historically it is absolutely fucking insane that Donald Trump is joking. See, I did it. He's not joking. That Donald Trump is seriously threatening our allies, our NATO allies, with military action to conquer like fucking Greenland. That's unhinged and unbelievable.
The real blackpilling part was seeing how quickly conservatives fell in line. Like, yes, Matt Walsh was like maybe trolling when he was like, we could bloodlessly take Canada within a week. But then Ben Shapiro unironically went on a show and he was like, we should take the moon too. We were the first to the moon. Why wouldn't we take it? Then he starts like giggling a bit and he's like, we should take Greenland. It's not a joke. They're being dead ass.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Like Trump can do literally anything.
Yeah.
Like he could bomb a small town in Iowa and it'd be like, oh, maybe Superman should have saved them. Isn't that where he's from? Like it would just be a joke. Everything is a fucking joke.
It was a liberal town.
Meanwhile, I've got that picture seared into my mind, the close-up of Biden with the red flag, with the red light behind him. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, clearly. It was in Philadelphia. Clearly fascistic.
And people are like, oh my God, this is the worst. This is the goddamn worst, most fascist fucking speech I've ever seen in my fucking life. Meanwhile, Trump is suing fucking pollsters. Oh, that's another big one. Always remember, I think you just have to keep the cases in mind. Like also, liberals need to bully way more.
Yeah. That goes back
Dave
to the
Rubin
slurs.
and Tim Pool should be gone from this industry. There is no way that either of them should ever have the audacity to show their face on fucking media after taking $5 million from an enemy of the country to do media. Because there's only two options. One, they either knew it, right? Which Tim Pool and Dave Rubin knew they were taking money from Russia, 100%. Okay, if you think I'm lying, sue me. All right, number one. Or two, they didn't know, and their message just happened to line up so perfectly with Russian propaganda that they were getting paid money without even realizing they had to change their message, which should be equally humiliating and some cause for reflection.
That goes back to the slurs. There should be a slur just for Tim Pool. Like, I don't even know.
We'll think of some.
We'll
for our conservatives.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Actually unbelievable that those guys are. I can't even imagine how fucking humiliating it would be. Like if I was getting paid $5 million from fucking Israel or from fucking like Soros and I didn't know. I had no idea. Like it just, I can't believe that they got away with nothing on that. That's just insane to me.
Yeah.
There was one, they each did like one 10-minute segment where they're like, we're the victim here. Like, can I be the victim for fucking $5 million? Jesus.
Dude, Vladimir Putin is salivating when he sees the current state of America and the discourse. I mean, he's taken a lot of wins. It feels like, I don't mean to be dramatic, but it feels like we're kind of in an invisible war with them and we're losing really badly right now. Like Vladimir Putin is just winning. And the liberals, I mean us, like we've got to have more of a punch. And I know that you were being kind of ironic about the slur thing, but I actually think that we need to start saying the word retard. Like,
retard is really what it all comes back to, isn't it?
That's why we lost. That and
do you remember the there was a stupid like TikTok, rest in peace TikTok of the some woman I think goes up to some white guy with like an axe who's just like chopping the ground. And she's like, we need you again, white guys.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
That's some Zoomer shit. I'm not into that. That's some young...
Shut the fuck up.
But
you're zooming so fucking hard.
Nah, but this dude said Biden says MAGA Republicans once, and then he clarifies not all. I know this is a trite talking point, but he's like, not all Republicans.
Not even a majority. Not even a majority. He hedges. Biden does a classic Destiny mistake of hedging, not knowing that people are going to fucking clip chimp the shit out. Meanwhile, oh my God. I don't know when this talking point emerged. I started to see it like 6 months ago. Do you ever see this bullshit ass, okay, this bullshit life-size Trump cock replica up their ass bullshit talking point of I switched sides when I heard when I found out the truth about the both sides had good people quote.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know that's bullshit, right? Trump did say that. He said there were good people on both sides of a Nazi march. He was specifically talking about the Nazi march. He was specifically talking about the people that had gone to the Nazi march that were marching with the Nazis. And he said there were good people on both sides of that. This is just true. So I heard this talking point like 6 months ago, and then I went back to the original speech. It's like, okay, well, maybe I did only hear a part of it. And I listened to the whole thing. It's like, okay, yeah, this is clearly what he's saying. I don't know why even some of the liberal fact checkers were saying this is a lie, which is not a lie. Yeah. But even more to this, somebody showed me this video yesterday because I came up with P.F. Young, where fucking Ben Shapiro is on his podcast talking about it. And he's like, I don't know why people are like trying to whitewash this for Trump. Trump clearly said at a Nazi march, he was clearly talking about the Nazis that were marching. They're the only people that were Nazis. And Ben Shapiro even like had this set out perfectly. He also said January 6th was an insurrection.
He said the worst thing domestically since 9/11.
Yeah, and he said it was an insurrection one day after it happened, but he walked back on that too.
You think it kills him a little bit inside that he's like a lawyer who went to a top tier school and now he's got to run defense for this orange flag? Like, do you think it kills him or is the money too good?
I think the money's too good.
Yeah.
His type of people.
I was right about to say it. Yeah.
His type of people. Conservatives.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
What?
Never mind. But yeah, it's fucked. We're a little bit cooked, but I think we'll be okay. I think the pendulum will swing back, right? I hope.
Well, I mean, like pendulums can only swing so far and then they break, right? So we got to hope that we.
Do you think Biden's...
Also, I don't want a pendulum swing on this because the woke shit is going to be.
The woke shit's pretty insufferable.
It's going to be crazier.
Do you think that Biden's foreign policy was a little bit weak?
No, I thought Biden's foreign policy was exemplary.
Really? I feel like I was reading a thread on I can't remember. It was just basically time and time again, Biden and Jake Sullivan, and I don't have this full argument developed, but I did time and time again, they would delay aid to Ukraine and say that it was escalatory. Meanwhile, Putin basically had a monopoly on this escalatory rhetoric, and then they delay aid just to give that aid about 6 months later anyways, once they realized. And I think that Biden had a really steady hand. He was amazing domestically, and his foreign policy was pretty good, but I just sometimes wonder if, I don't know, like Netanyahu, for example, just kind of was fucking with him the entire time. And that's not his fault, but like, man.
So there's a couple things. So I think when it comes to Ukraine, there's this quote about Israel. I wish I could remember it, but it's something like, I wish I could remember. It was like, Israel doesn't have a foreign policy. Israel has a foreign policy constrained by its domestic policy, or something like that. It's like the way that the two relate. I think that one consideration that has to be made is that the Democrats are fighting very much on the back foot on everything foreign policy wise. Mm-hmm. And the Republicans and Putin control the narrative on literally fucking everything. Yeah. So for instance, somebody even had to remind me of this in the middle, right after a debate, where people were like, well, why didn't they try to pass like immigration or whatever? Like, why didn't they do anything? It's like, well, they had a bill they were going to sign. It's
Langford's bill.
Well, why didn't they sign that bill on its own or whatever? Why did they try to pass with other stuff? The reason why is because Republicans always demand, like, if you're going to pass this, it was them that tried to tie the Ukraine shit to the immigration stuff. Could Biden have been more aggressive in granting stuff to Ukraine? Maybe. I lean on the side that he could have, but like, I can also see the delicate situation and the constraints that he has while operating there. So like, for instance, in retrospect, right, it seems like Ukraine wants to fight a war. It seems pretty noble that they're fighting the war. But do you remember, I think there was like an interceptor missile that missed and it like landed in fucking Poland. Yeah. There's also the fact that I'm pretty sure, I think the consensus around, I don't think Zelensky knew, but I'm pretty sure it was Ukrainians that blew up the Nord Stream 2. I think most people accept that now. Not like in Tim Pool land, most people accept it, but I think it was some part of the Ukrainian military, that was involved in that. Although I don't know if Zelensky knew about that. I think that that's still unclear. So like, I can understand some hesitancy. Now, all that aside, I think I still probably would have been in favor of being a little bit more adventurous, I guess, with supporting Ukraine. But the domestic constraints were fucking unbelievably annoying. For Israel, I think the United States did about all that they could. Yeah. I think that like building that pier, I thought was a good idea. Getting, people forget this, but we got like a ceasefire like 1 week, I think, into the war to allow people to move. It was like, because I think Israel was like ready to, not a ceasefire, but like a temporary, like a 1 week thing for people to move. Because I think Israel was ready to like fucking roll in or some shit, or ready to bomb shit. I don't know if it was like a weekend or a month in, but like pretty early on, there were like some truces moving people out of Rafah. People were saying it was around that like hashtag Rafah on fire bullshit.
Yeah.
People were
Or
saying
all eyes on Rafah, whatever.
yeah, like if Israel invades Rafah, they're all gonna die because there are like 1 million people down there. And in the course of like days, all of those people moved to the north. And I think some of that was at the behest of the United States, where they were like, you guys better not kill a bunch of people. But nobody talks about that. So some people look now at Biden and think that he failed because now Netanyahu is willing to do like a ceasefire.
Was he fucking with Biden? Like he was basically waiting until Trump got in office, right?
That might have been a little bit, but like people forget that like time moves in one direction. Like they're not going to be at war forever. Eventually they will want to do a ceasefire. And people are saying like, oh, well, he could have done this 6 months ago. Bullshit. Israel's gotten a lot of good shit for them in the 6 months of military conflict.
Yeah.
They've obliterated Hezbollah. They finally killed Nasrallah. They killed all 3 of the top Hamas leaders. They fucking Assad's regime has toppled. Yeah, they've continued to like apply a ton of pressure and kill a ton of people in Hamas. Like Israel has gotten more and more and more militarily. So like every day has been like a further step, like entrenching their power. Probably, I haven't seen any polling, but I would imagine increasing support for Netanyahu. So like the idea that like just because they're willing to finally do like a ceasefire now that they would have done one 6 months ago, that's stupid. That's like saying like, oh, well, they could have done a ceasefire a year ago. They wouldn't have done a ceasefire.
It's just the timing of it is a little suspect, right? I mean, it seems like I'm not saying Netanyahu was absolutely.
Well, like, could it have been like a couple weeks earlier, a month earlier, a month later? I mean, it's
not
possible.
About the timing. It's like it's more about Netanyahu did a private meeting with Trump, and they were at Mar-a-Lago, right? And then there were reports that Netanyahu was single-handedly tanking all of the ceasefire deals, or him and his cabinet were tanking this, like him and Ben Gvir, whatever the fuck his name is. And I think that just the timing of it does seem like the optics are a win for Trump. Even if Biden was the one that laid the groundwork for this deal, he's the one, his team negotiated for the most part. They let Trump's dude come in. I can't remember his name, but they let
Steve something or
Witkoff?
Maybe, yeah.
Steve Witkoff, some shit like that. They let him come in, and after a few days, it's just, yeah. And then now, next MAGA rally I go to, which could be in the next few days or whatever, I feel like they're all going to be like, the peace president. He's the fucking peace president. It's just, it's a little blackmail.
I mean, it's annoying, yeah. But I mean, it's annoying. Foreign policy is always annoying. But like, Israel got everything they wanted, I think, out of this. Like, this is an absolute and utter Israeli victory in every single.
Yeah.
Now, I've read that, like, I think Ben Gvir wants to resign and that Israel's mad because they had to make concessions on something. I'm really curious what those concessions even the fuck are, because there's a world, I wouldn't even call this conspiratorial. I think that having Hamas in power still, after they retreat, helps Israeli on like 3 huge things. One is it still keeps a separation of the Palestinian powers, because I think that they want the Palestinian Authority is like the governing body that was established for the West Bank. Ideally, that also governs the Gaza Strip. Yeah. Like having this united would be very good for the Palestinians. It'd be good for progress in the region. But now it won't be, probably, because Hamas is still going to be in charge of the Gaza Strip. So 1, it keeps the Palestinian people divided. 2, Israel still has good reasons to maintain the very strict border control because, well, Hamas. And 3, they still get to have the whole embargo and everything as well for the sea stuff. So, like, Israel comes out of this, I think, like an absolute and total victor. So you've got a lot of these people that I'm trying to build better relationships with online, so I'm not going to call them out by name. You got a lot of people like, oh, well, finally the Palestinian people can stop suffering, and finally, like, I can't believe that Biden didn't negotiate this soon. It's like, what are you celebrating? This is a total and absolute victory. Now we're back at October 6th, where Israel has every single thing they want, and we're just like waiting for tensions to build and pop off in another terror attack. Except the Palestinians are even more isolated because we're taking even more and more steps for Israel to normalize relations with other countries in the region, and now they're even more isolated because you don't have help from Iran as much or Hezbollah. So, but.
I don't know if you could tell this about me, but my dad is Muslim. My grandpa's from Syria.
Why would I be able to tell your dad is Muslim?
Why wouldn't you, or what?
Why would I be able to?
I don't know.
Did you mean to say that he's Arab?
No. I mean, he's Arab, but yeah, I mean, I'm just white as fuck. I guess Arab is the. But,
okay.
Yeah, my grandpa's from Syria. He moved here. My dad's Muslim, so we fought about this a lot on calls and stuff because he was super like free Palestine, blah blah blah. He never like took it too far. He voted for Kamala because he understands it, blah blah. But like, I was always like free Palestine from Hamas. I feel like first and foremost, and it's messy. It's
it
bad,
is.
but we should talk about something lighter, like the California wildfires, something that's not as heavy.
Oh, lighter, like how they were set.
I don't even mean it like that, but that's good. That's good stuff. But yeah, I mean Marjorie Taylor Greene was tweeting about how the Democrats can control the weather type shit, and that they need to be I don't know. They're like, if Democrats can control the weather, why can't they cloud seed rain all across California? It's like, is there one Democrat sitting in Congress that is that dumb? It goes back to the double standards.
There was one guy, black senator dude, who I remember watching videos of this guy making fun of, but like not everybody's defended him, who expressed concern about a whole bunch of U.S. troops that were stationed in Guam, and he was saying that the island might capsize. Not joking.
Is that an America fat joke? Because
no, he was. Yeah. I think he was being serious.
Was this a Democrat?
I think it was.
Either way, though, like, okay.
But the difference, as I point out, is that like I think everybody laughed at that guy. Marjorie Taylor Greene represents like the heart and soul of the current MAGA party. 70%
of the sitting Republican congressmen claim that the 2020 election was stolen, even if they don't actually believe that. And the farthest left Democrat who's sitting there is like. Cory Bush isn't even in. So it's like Bernie Sanders is probably right now the farthest left. And he's a respectable, classy dude. He's not delving into any crazy conspiracy theories. Yes, we disagree with him on some stuff. But the difference between the two sides, it just feels like the activists on our side give us a really bad look. And also...
Yeah, but the annoying thing, and I keep pointing this out, is our activists... I don't know how Republicans do this. Our activists they don't support the party.
Yeah.
Republicans will talk about how the election is rigged, and it's all rigged, and the illegals are voting... And then they show up to vote. Yeah. Meanwhile, the people on the far left are like, fuck Kamala, fuck Biden. Maybe if they're really nice, they'll be like, I guess if you live in a swing state and you're around a polling place, maybe if it's not too inconvenient, you could drop in and vote, I guess. Like, that's it. And then on the right, they're like, yeah, I just saw 5 million more illegals on buses come in to vote in my polling place. So me and my whole family had to fight through the fucking rain and sleet and hail and fires to go and vote at our polling place. Like, Jesus, what the fuck?
Well, Chicago is supposed to be ground zero for mass deportations. And we're opening up a studio in Chicago next month. I was going to talk to you about that. You got to come to our Chicago studio at some point, like Q2 maybe, end of Q1, so we can do a show.
Is that how you talk?
Yeah.
With fiscal year, when are we starting? January? Okay,
well, yeah.
Okay, Q1. Okay, I'll shoot for end of Q1, yeah.
Yeah, D1 crash out.
Okay.
Is what we're
Do you want to have a D1 crash out?
Yeah, if you keep talking to me like this. No, but like, no, the thing is, I'm just messing. But, fuck, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah.
You're going to be deporting people? Yeah.
For our studio, we just got a few FX3s, and I was talking to your...
You mean FX30? Sony cameras?
No, the FX3, it's like an FX6, but there's an FX30 as well.
Oh, you got the cheapo one.
No, it's not that cheap at all. It's really good. You can use it for in-studio stuff, and you can also...
I'm sorry, I'm just fucking...
No, I know.
It's a good camera. Sony makes a good camera.
Yeah. And you can have it as a shoulder mount, too, so we might go live stream some of the mass deportations.
Jesus, that's fucking savage.
Well, I mean, like, dude, if Tom Homan is there, I want to... I'm gonna have a D1 crash. Tom Homan, you know that dude, Tom Homan, whatever.
Yeah, but explain for my audience who doesn't know who he is.
Oh, Tom Homan is the border czar for Donald Trump. He's like Stephen Miller almost, but he's like this big ogre type dude. I'm gonna have a D1 crash out on him, if anybody. And yeah, dude, it's gonna be interesting. There's a chance that it's all just a PR stunt, right? They're sending 200 police officers. No, 200.
What are they gonna do?
200 ICE agents.
Oh my god, I know what they're gonna do. There's probably just like ordinarily like deportations that happen every day.
And then they're going to take videos and blast it on Fox News and make it seem like they're doing mass deportations. And then the dumb fucks will be like, he's the peace president. He did the deportations on day one. What else is he going to do on day one? He's got like, he won't even do the tariffs on Canada, right? That's all just for lever. Or he might do some tariffs on Canada.
Knows? But he did tariff last time. It was incredibly detrimental to some U.S. industries.
He did, yeah. And after the election, I've been looking at a lot of this through a different lens where all this dude wants to do is gain leverage over other people.
Yeah. Do you remember was it Trump that was asked this, or was it another guy where they were like, isn't separating families horrible? And
he's like,
we'll deport the kids too.
Or no, he was like, how will you make sure you're not separating the families or whatever? And like, you're not separating them when you deport them. He's like, oh, we'll deport the kids with the parents. Fuck. But obviously you get this. When he uses rhetoric like that, it's like a preventative measure. So it's like having nukes almost. It stops people from coming over in the first place. And now we're naturally going to see immigration decrease because when you use strong rhetoric like that, and I'm not trying to sane wash this shit, but you get what I'm saying, right?
No, I get it. I just thought of the best business idea. I have great business ideas all the time. Did you ever hear about my idea for having bodyguards for pedophiles?
No.
Oh my God, it was so good. Don't worry about that one though, but a different idea, okay? You should have you seen like the auction shows or whatever where they bid on like lockers and stuff?
Yeah.
You should go to neighborhoods where illegals live and you should offer them a flat sum to buy out their shit because they're going to get deported anyway. They can't take it with them. And then you could store it in lockers and then auction it off to people. And you could have like illegal auctions or whatever.
True. Better yet, my MAGA friends, we can just deport their illegal grandmas to ICE and just take over the place.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's a long time to live in the U.S. and still be illegal.
Yeah, it's scary. So you want to watch some of these clips? I need content for my channel because I'm traveling all day. So
You have to watch. Wait, where are you going today?
well, I'm going to DC tonight. I'm taking a train there.
How is that? Is it like Amtrak or is it like?
Yeah, I'm taking the Amtrak. So I flew in from Chicago last night. I got in at like 10, woke up, tried to eat the hotel breakfast, but it was shit. And then came here. I had a banana in my room, so I was all
Okay,
good.
that's good.
In the green
Potassium.
room. Yeah, I needed to eat something or else I'd crash out. I need to stop saying that. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. You know, can't be low on fructose.
No, for real. And then tonight we're going to DC for one more shoot over the next few days. I don't want to give details because I don't want to get fucking assassinated because I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to be walking around. But like, yeah, we're going to go shoot some stuff in DC. And then I'm going to go back to my Chicago studio, set it up, and we're going to do some cool shows there as well. We've got some really sick ideas for what we can do. And like,
Can I suggest an idea?
yeah.
I want to see this turn into a game show so badly. Please, okay? Don't let me interrupt you. Go ahead.
No. Sorry.
The 60 Minutes guy did it on Dave Rubin, so if you want to do it here, that's
No,
fine. Take
You're
your call.
good. Someone just
Okay.
No, someone just texted me. What's up?
Okay, that was like a D3 crash out. So, okay.
You
Okay,
gotta
here's
stop
what you
with
do,
that.
okay?
Yeah.
3 Trump supporters, okay? Take them in off the street. Since I say this idea, it's copyrighted to me, so you owe me royalties, okay?
Mm-hmm.
3 Trump supporters, take them off the street, put them in a studio, okay? This is what you do, all right? $1,000 for each person. Put it on the table, okay? Have your band, that's what you guys call it, right? Bands?
Yeah, bands. A few bands.
Yeah, so have a few bands on the table, okay? You play a 1-minute Trump clip, and then each of them has a whiteboard. And after Trump speaks, they have to write down what the fuck he just said. Like,
Yeah.
what was he actually saying? And if all 3 have the same point, then all of them get $1,000.
The child care clip.
Just
Remember
to
that?
see, yes.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, and then the question would be like, so what was Trump's policy? And see if all 3 of them can even get the same
They would
answer.
just say, "Have you ever heard Biden speak?" Excuse me. Like that's what they'd literally just. What about over there?
If all 3 of them had the same answer for that, then they would
Yeah.
get the money. Just to show that, because I don't think anybody, I don't know what the fuck he's saying half the time. Because I'll pause and ask my audience, like, what the fuck did Trump just say? What does he answer here? It'd be really fun to see 3 independent, like, people, or like Republicans, but all of them try to work out, like, what did Trump just say? And then show the answers. I think it would be
There's
very
going to be a lot of that over the next few years. And I was going to open the studio in LA or New York or something. Like do you have bigger plans for this in New York, or we could talk about that later? And
You know, honestly, it depends on what New Yorkers do with their gun laws. Because right now I feel very oppressed.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we were gonna move the studio to like LA or New York, but we decided the Midwest hasn't really been tapped into that much. And I know Chicago is not like LA, but Chicago also is surrounded by all these Midwestern states. There's so many personalities that we can pull in. And there's like the Barstool model where they build personalities from the ground up and they try to make, what's the dude's name? Big Cat or whatever the fuck. They just like pulled them off the street. So we're trying to build personalities in Chicago or just like pull MAGA people in. There needs to be more representation of these Midwest Trump supporters. And then we're going to do debates. Like there's going to be, I don't want to give out too many of the ideas that we have, but there's going to be some really cool stuff to be made with our FX3s. After we film the mass deportation.
You could be like fucking Fresh and Fit, but for Democrats.
Yeah.
And then all the people that you bring in are like Republicans.
Yes, like shit like that. Or like Tim Pool.
And it could be like the worst. You should be like exclusively bring in like the most redneck. Like you've got like 6 guys in fucking overalls or whatever. And you're like, yo, what's up, guys? We're talking to the average Republican here today, and here we go. Like,
And then like ask them their body count and kick them out if they get disrespectful and shit.
oh my God.
No, but like imagine like the Tim Pool vibe where it's we have like 5 liberals and there's just 1 conservative and we're all just railing on them.
that would be fucking funny too. Yeah.
No, but it's more just
screaming at him.
It's more going to be respectful shit. Like we want to bring people in. Like one of the ideas we have, and I don't want to give too much, is like imagine a MAGA father debates their liberal daughter. I've already done a few videos like this, and we just do a sort of like family therapy type thing. And it's just you guys haven't spoken about politics in 6 months because it gets too heated. Well, let's try to come to a middle ground.
Oh,
and we do that, and we also get views.
That would be funny, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
I have a really hard time. There was a person I was talking to the other day, and they're like, "Yeah, I think I had to." What did they say? They voted for Trump for some reason, and I was like, "Oh, like, isn't this like really bad for these reasons?" Like, yeah, I don't know. They're like, I'm worried about. I just get unhinged now. They said something about worrying about like taxes or something because they had like their daughter in the hospital, and I was like, oh, like you know that like you voting for that is increasing the chance that your daughter dies. Like there's a good chance that like if they were to repeal the ACA or whatever, like you wouldn't be able to afford their shit. You're just voting for your daughter to die, right? And then I think they didn't talk to me as much about
They
this.
probably still voted for Trump too.
They did.
Dude.
But it's like, how can you be so? You're young.
Yeah.
You don't remember this. I hate that nobody remembers this. Okay, you used to be a slave to your job. Because if you had a bad medical condition, you could never get health insurance again without paying out the ass. And you were a slave to your job. You had to be stuck there forever because nobody else would insure you. And we just like forgot about that. Not only have we forgotten about that, the fucking Republicans try to take credit for it. Trump's like, I like pre-existing conditions. Okay, motherfucker, you tried to repeal and replace it in 2017. You literally shit all over McCain's grave just because he thumbs you down when it came time for the Senate vote for repealing it. So how the fuck can you try to take credit for it now?
This dude is shameless as hell.
Which one? All of them, but Trump as well, yes.
He's just uniquely shameless in a way that I think J.D. Vance you can see it in J.D. Vance's eyes. He's not about that life. Like, you know how Trump at his rallies will always point towards the press and the crowd will start booing? J.D. Vance tried to do that one time, and you could just see in his eyes that he was just like, oh, the press. He's not as shameless. I guess he's getting there. But did you see?
It's all like I don't even know where the king has no clothes.
Yeah.
Where they all have to pretend he isn't naked. Or right?
Yeah.
That's
like
it.
that.
Yeah, exactly. What were you saying? Sorry.
Have you seen his new portrait where he's just like, it's like the mugshot face with crazy lighting? You know
I just assumed that he had a fucking neurological disease and that's why his fucking
his
eyebrow
eye was drooping and shit.
Yeah, I've seen it.
That's the
so
type of shit
cringe.
you see in a presidential or like a history book of all the presidents, and you're like, oh, this guy's a dictator. Like, you just have to look through all of the shit and like, this guy is a little fashy. It's very, very clear.
Because you see the pictures?
Yeah. Just based off pictures.
Or it could also be the convicted felon count, or it could be the attempted coup, or it could be
just the pictures. Yeah. Do you know what's annoying though? They gaslit us. You know how many times Republicans were like pissing, shitting, and puking after the election? Like, you shouldn't have called us fascists. The fact that you called us fascists is why you lost the election. And then a month later, they're like, maybe we should take over Greenland. We could probably do it bloodlessly in about a week. It's just so.
Or the fact that they've been calling us like commies and shit for.
It's like Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah.
Do you remember Rush Limbaugh?
I grew up. The foundation of my mind was planted by Rush Limbaugh and Michael Savage and Billy Cunningham and Glenn Beck and
those were the good old days.
Sean Hannity, all these guys, back when they were real Americans, when this country really knew what it was about.
Yeah.
And now we lost our way. And now we've got all these cuck TikTokers and these Adam Mocklers running around with their vertical cam fucking YouTube videos.
Nah, that was filmed on FX3s as well. I mean, the whole video is actually really good, but I just
do you just like turn the camera on its side and film?
No, we just fucking cut it and post to be short form.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I bet you have the most cancerous looking fucking frame guides on your shots. Do you have all the things so that you can see where it's going to be cut or whatever? Or do you just cut and hope that it works?
I just cut it. Yeah, I don't do that. I mean, like, I just hired my first editor, and he's a really clever guy. You know, Brain Rot Politics on TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
He's got an account. Yeah, he's a really clever editor, and this is old stuff that we.
Is he working for you now?
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me know. Got an employee I need to fire.
Nah,
I'm just kidding.
Nah, I feel like I'm giving away too many of my plans for the next few
it's good.
months.
It's good.
Yeah.
Because Brain Rat and me are like this. So the next time you lose access to your footage, it's
Bro.
going to all show up on my channel.
Jesus
You're going to be like, give it
Christ.
back. And then all of a sudden, Destiny's channel, exclusive. And it's going to be cut with music to make you sound like a fucking moron. I'm going to voice over all the Trump guys. You're going to be like, didn't Trump have a bad economy? And I'm a voiceover for you too. And the other guy's going to be like, actually, the GDP increased, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to be getting dominated. And then it's going to be like, wop, wop on every fucking clip of yours.
Yeah.
Where do you think the TikTokers are going?
TikTokers?
Yeah.
I think that I mean, across multiple platforms. I think YouTube has the most longevity out of most platforms. Could you see that as well? I think that if you look at the age demographics of YouTube, I actually have a slightly older audience. Like, all the MSNBC people came over to Midas Touch, and I'm in that sphere right now. But then there's also Mr. Beast, who pulls like hundreds of millions of views of young people. There's also middle-aged. I just feel like YouTube has the most longevity out of any platform right now.
Sure.
I could see people going to Instagram Shorts, but the algorithm on there isn't as...
You know, people don't realize this, but I'm pretty sure Shorts is like dominating the market for short form content.
Yeah, Instagram Shorts or YouTube Shorts?
Instagram Reels are
Reels-
insane.
Reels will turn into that. Do you remember a few months ago when you had to click this toggle on Instagram if you want to see politics or not? Like, Zuckerberg changed it before the election. I don't know if it was Zuckerberg himself, but they changed it before the election. You had to click a switch if you wanted to see politics or have politics muted. As far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure they're going back on that, and now they're going to algorithmically promote political stuff. I don't know that for sure, but the way Zuckerberg's been talking lately, he's like, oh, we're embracing politics, no pronouns, no tampons or whatever.
I like those. But people are like, I don't have pronouns.
Yeah.
Good for you, dude. You're so brave.
Have we thought about the transgender immigrants and illegal prisons and the implications on them? Because I feel like that's a great
How can you have, this is what I'm curious about. How can you have all of these like life-ending situations that didn't get fixed? Like, I want to know. I almost have a 14-year-old son, okay? I need to know if drag queens are trying to like trans him or not. Like, we talked about this. It was a huge deal. And then it just went away. Like, is that happening still?
Yeah, it's too late.
Or like, are the books that turned the kids gay, are those still in the libraries? Did we get rid of all of them? Or like, are they Did we ban all the the swimmers and everything? Like, these were like the most pressing issues of the day, and I feel like they just went away. I want to know. I'm curious what happened.
I'm always debating. Like, I've debated a few conservatives who are like, there's sex ed books in high schools that show gay sex now. I'm like, what age do you want your kid to be seeing this stuff? I don't know. There's a thing where I feel like I've talked to you about this or someone where you could basically wrap a lot of liberal values in conservative rhetoric. I don't know if you've seen this clip where I'm talking to this Trump supporter and he says, we need to stop funding Ukraine.
Oh, I
we
saw
need to put
the
America
Ukraine one,
first. Yeah, it's an old clip, but it's like what you say is you flip it back to them and you say, well, funding Ukraine is how we put America first. We're protecting the borders of a sovereign nation. It helps our economy because it's blah, blah, blah. It's like our old stockpiled equipment. And by the end of it, this dude's like, oh, maybe we do put America first. And then you know what's really funny? He says in the clip, he's like, Russia invading Ukraine would be like us invading Canada, and that's not right. He says that to me like a year ago, and it was so prescient. Is that the word? It was so. It's just insane that Trump's talking about this shit.
But it's epic to them.
Yeah,
it's epic and hilarious.
Because we react to it. Do we need to be less reactionary over the next few years as liberals? Maybe not you in particular.
Maybe we just need to carry it out. Like, randomly, you know, it'd be so fucking funny. Okay, so for people that don't know, and maybe you know, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know anything about politics until I was like 33. I didn't know like how our system actually works. So like the votes that happen in Congress aren't like real, and that like they're like, okay, let's vote and see what happens, right? You
they
vote
know
before. Yeah, you know before because you know how people are gonna vote, right? What if on one of these, what if the Democrats just like unanimously join the Republicans on like some unhinged shit? Like, how funny would that be? Like, this is the resolution to fucking rape every fucking Canadian. And Pelosi's like, we're guys, let's fucking go. And then like all of a sudden it's like the House with like a 200 vote fuck. It's like, wait, what? And then it gets to the Senate and every Democrat's like, yeah, let's go. And you know there's enough retarded Republicans like, oh yeah, sure, we're voting on that. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, let's fucking do it. Let's do the Republican agenda. That would be fucking Kino shit.
Tim Pool would be like, I can't believe the Democrats voted for this. Tim Pool would just focus on like the Democrats should not have voted for this shit. It would still be a
yeah, even progressives do that. I can't believe that Sinema and Manchin made it. The Democrats did this. It's like, excuse me, motherfucker. It was 50 Republicans and 2 Democrats. How the fuck is it our fault? Yeah. What the fuck? Like, maybe if you have an actual majority and you're not relying on your 1 or 2 of the most, like, literally certified by physicists as the most purple colored districts you could ever have. It cannot get any more purple than these people. And these are the ones you're holding accountable for the entire fucking party? Like, get us a fucking majority of voters. In the Senate, sorry.
Do you hate Merrick Garland, or are you disappointed, or do you think that he did everything he could and that was the process as it was?
Does anybody know if Pisco's watching?
Not here yet.
Okay, I'm gonna assume Pisco's not watching. Okay. I hate on Merrick Garland a lot, but honestly, I just do it to trigger the fuck out of Pisco. I think Merrick Garland tried. I think he could have been a bit more aggressive, but I think he tried. But I think he could have been a bit more aggressive.
You said something to me during our, not to me, you said it on stage during our Wisconsin panel, or was it Michigan? I don't know, a few months back. And you were like, you know, we might as well have appointed a pit bull as our AG because you could appoint a chihuahua with a D on its head, is what you said, and they would still see a pit bull. I was like, that's pretty good. I'm going to act like
Did I actually say that?
Yeah.
That was good. There's shit I watch my shit sometimes like, that's pretty clever. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to act like I came up with that when I repeat it now. But like, no, for real, why would Biden, I feel like that's a perfect microcosm of how weak our party kind of is. And obviously I'm like a lifelong Democrat, so I'm not saying.
Lifelong? You've been voting for it 4 years, little bro. Slow down there, Mr. Lifelong. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
Nah. But like, obviously, I'm saying this as constructive criticism. Like, we're so weak that Biden appointed a Republican as the Attorney General rather than somebody who would just get this shit done because he thought that, I don't know, he wants to uphold the norms that we'd be moving.
Wait, at the risk of sounding super retarded, because I am. Merrick Garland was a Republican? I didn't even know that.
He's a Republican, yeah.
Damn, that was going to be Obama's Supreme Court pick.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm 99% sure he's a Republican. But Biden wanted to do this to show that it was a return to normalcy, return from Trumpism, and we just got fucked over. And I just feel like Biden...
I mean, look at the difference between investigations.
Yeah.
Under Trump's administration, he almost certainly committed obstruction of justice when he fired Comey. He did that because Comey wouldn't kill his investigation. Mm-hmm. You know that, right? Mm-hmm. He said, do you know why he said he fired Comey?
No.
Something to do with Hillary's emails. He said that's why he fired Comey. But he legitimately, he said, I hear somebody
like 9 at the time, so.
Laughing back there. But that is why he said he fired Comey. It was over the Hillary Clinton email stuff. But he fired Comey. He got pissed because Jeff Sessions wouldn't basically kill the investigations because Sessions recused himself. That's why Trump started to fucking talk shit at him fucking every day. Trump did everything that he could to stand between any legitimate progress in that investigation and whatever he was up to. Okay, Trump did everything that he could. All right? That was Donald Trump. In Biden's administration, we got a fucking continuation of. Is it David Weiss? Was that the special prosecutor for Hunter Biden?
I think so.
We had a continuation of an investigation into his own fucking son, which is unconscionable under a Trump administration. You think his family would be investigated? Never. And we even had an instantaneous special counsel appointed to investigate Biden on the documents. Remember that?
Yeah.
I always say Durham, but it wasn't. Durham was the FBI thing. It was
the Durham report was fucking wild.
That was the FBI thing. Who was the special counsel for or the special prosecutor for Biden?
Her?
Oh, her. Yeah.
Robert Her.
What the fuck? But here's the thing, and even Pisco, I don't know why he can be even Pisco can't tell me this. I thought, because the steel man, and when I say steel, I mean the strongest composite alloy that has ever been created ever, because that's how strong you have to construct the conservative. The steel man argument for like a lot of this Trump shit going away is like, well, can a sitting president really be prosecuted? I don't know. Okay, then why the fuck was there a special counsel for Joe Biden? Because if he would have found illegal stuff, because these are criminal matters, mishandling classified material, they couldn't have prosecuted him, right? So why did we even have a special counsel for that?
The worst part is, during that Robert Her report, he says in like 100 different ways that Joe Biden was not guilty due to 100 different reasons. I can't remember the exact wording, but he even says that like when Joe Biden came in and sat down, he was like, I don't expect you to remember everything I'm about to ask you. It spans over the course of the past 15 years. There's no expectations for you to remember all of this. Then Biden slips up on a few things, and Robert Her is essentially like, it was so clear.
Well, because a lot of people don't know, for the mens rea for most of these criminal statutes, even for mishandling classified material generally, is it has to be like intentional.
Very intentional, yeah.
It has to be intentional. You can't, so like, even for Trump, you would grant the same. Now, it just so happens that we have recordings of Donald Trump saying, this is classified. I should have declassified it, but I didn't. Okay? Now, which is very unfortunate because it's about as fucking clear cut as you can ever get. All right? For the whole, can we read his mind crowd? Okay? But Joe Biden, it doesn't seem like he intentionally mishandled anything because Her didn't say something.
Yeah, because then Trump played cat and mouse with the FBI for like a year until they had to raid Mar-a-Lago. And then, of course, he victimized himself even further after that. And then Biden gives up the documents right away.
Yeah.
Right.
And what was the, it was either Josiah or Brian, you probably know him as Brian Tyler Cohen, said this. I wish I could remember who told me this. I need to remember this. Where are we at now with faith in our institutions? What did we get for that? Do conservatives look at Biden and go, well, Merrick Garland did appoint the special prosecutor to look into Biden, and he allowed the bullshit investigation into Hunter Biden to continue under his own presidency. So, yeah, we have faith in the FBI and the DOJ, right? Did that happen?
No, it's just like he might as well have appointed a fucking pit bull.
Exactly.
It's going to be the end result.
Yeah. What the fuck?
It's pretty disappointing. So you agree that Biden was weak in some respects?
I respect what he tried to do.
Okay.
I think that Biden was a better man than I would have been in that situation.
Yeah, and hindsight's 2020. It's always really easy to look back and be like, oh, he should have done this with Ukraine. He should have done this with Merrick Garland.
So we talked a little bit about the foreign policy stuff, right?
Yeah.
I think he did what he could with Israel.
Yeah, I agree.
I think with Ukraine, maybe he could have been stronger, sure, but he kept the Afghanistan pullout. I have high respect for that. So we pulled out of Afghanistan. Biden was the one that got us out of the Saudi coalition against Yemen. So we stopped that. So there's only like 2 active conflicts, neither of which the United States fucking started. And I think that our roles in that have been appropriate. Maybe we could have been a little bit more ardent with Ukraine. Donald Trump did nothing for Ukraine, Russia, by the way. He sold some weapons to Ukraine, but he didn't do anything to push.
He called Zelensky and said, if you don't give me dirt on...
Yeah, and Giuliani. Did you know there's a call with Giuliani?
Like recorded?
Yes.
Oh, shit, no.
47-minute call where Giuliani is... He's the one that called before Trump. That's unbelievable. That's okay. But anyway... All of this to say that, and then Biden's domestic policy, I think, was pretty
great.
good. Maybe we could have done something about the border stuff sooner, for sure. I think that's fair.
Yeah, with the border too. Like, if you use a little bit more aggressive rhetoric, I don't know. I've just been rethinking a lot of this.
I've been
trying to.
People will look back, I think, on Obama's presidency is not that good. I think the ACA was really amazing. I think the foreign policy was probably a disaster.
Then they were like gridlocked for the next 6 years after the ACA.
Yeah, I think people will look back not good on Obama's presidency. I think people will look back on Biden as at least the best since Clinton, if not earlier.
Maybe if it feels like it's in between 2 Trump terms, it might just get, I don't know. Like,
it's just imagine like imagine the pendulum swing, the effective leadership, Biden, like, it sucks that he's older. I wish. Have you ever seen younger clips of Biden speaking?
Oh yeah, dude. Like 65-year-old Biden would have won. He had this quote. I don't mean to cut you off, but he had this quote yesterday or 2 days ago where he was like, I focus too much on policy and not enough on politics. And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier about attention, what Ezra Klein was saying, that now it's like a game of attention. Not even money doesn't even matter as much. Trump didn't win. This is what he said. Trump did not win the Republican primary because of money. It wasn't because of that. It's because he was drawing attention to himself. So Biden had this quote where he basically admits it. He's like, I focus too much on policy and not on politics. So I think a 65-year-old Biden absolutely would have crushed Donald Trump.
Yeah. And he was a good speaker too. Him doing I just remember there was a speech he did in Congress about intervening. Why the fuck can't I remember it? It was in relation to like Yugoslavia and
he's like, we need to bomb the.
He was big. He's like, America's the moral leader of the world. Who is there without?
Was so good.
It was that kind of energy. But obviously,
he was like, he's the worst since Himmler. He's the worst. I remember this exact fucking clip. He was a badass, but
he was.
He's a little old now. Maybe a little bit old.
Definitely a little old. But that being said, with 50 senators and some purple Democrats, he managed to pass an ungodly amount of legislation. He was above the like game of like the bullshit, like shit slinging constantly. I think he had every reason in the world to be the most hateful motherfucker ever. But he wasn't. He said he was coming in to fight for the soul of America and to be the president for all Americans. And he was. And even when they try to go after him on shit, I just remember reading the quotes because I was looking up, because sometimes I would get scared when we're doing the debates or whatever. And I get like, okay, fuck, like what's going on with the hurricane response? I need to make sure he's not like fumbling this. And every time I tried to look up, I can't remember the names. DeSantis, and then the governor of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. Brian Kemp. Do you remember the Carolinas?
I should.
Disgraceful.
Nah, keep going.
But like all of these guys, when Twitter and everybody else was saying like, "Oh, is Biden saying anything?" I was like, "Oh, he called us like last night. Like, we've already been on the phone with him."
And then they say that Biden didn't call at all. And here's the thing, dude. How can Trump?
Cooper, he was one of them. I think it was North Carolina. Cooper.
Yeah, Roy Cooper.
Yeah.
How can Trump call Governor Gavin Newsom new scum during a natural disaster?
That's disgusting.
Could you imagine if Biden, just imagine, I hate this hypothetical.
Talked about this to Abbott when fucking Texans are freezing to death?
Or DeSantis during the hurricanes. He's like, oh, DeSanctimonious isn't responding to his citizens. I mean, fuck, maybe we do need to use more slurs. Maybe Biden should.
It's just the sad thing is like, I wish people could see that. Like if Trump was like falling off like a cliff, as old as he is, I think Biden would like break his back, like to reach down and try to like lift him up. I think that Trump would do a Mufasa.
Yeah.
I think if Trump thought that he could throw somebody off a cliff to get an edge on them, I think he would do it.
I don't get the Mufasa reference. No, I'm joking. That was a joke. Sorry.
My bad. Do you remember an episode, I think it was a 32 of Skibbity Toilet, where they spin real fast?
We've already made these jokes like 4 times. But,
fuck you.
No, I've seen The Lion King. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail your train of thought.
No, but I think that like, I think it would be unquestionable that if something catastrophic happened in any red state, Biden would basically be like, what do you need? We'll do whatever. And Trump is so fucking disgusting that like, we need to force California to do this in exchange for wildfire shit. And it's like, fuck, like literally hang your hat on this thing and stop talking because this is unbelievable. Yeah. It's so disgusting. I just want to say the person I hate the most in all of this.
Tim Pool or Elon?
Is fucking Luigi, because...
Oh, really?
No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. I'm too edgy. Fuck! It's okay.
You said something, but you didn't fully say it. I saw this clip of you on Twitter where you were like, Luigi should have, I don't even know.
I'm just saying some CEOs.
Or Thomas Matthew Crooks. Fuck that guy. Like, what was this kid thinking? You know Thomas Matthew Crooks, the skinny Trump shooter from Butler? What was this kid thinking? I'm not even saying...
Too edgy.
No, I'm not even saying that.
I don't want to take you down this road with me. I've already committed to this path.
No,
you've got a bright future ahead of you.
No, I was just going to say, like, there's some of these clips are pretty edgy, too. But what was this dude thinking when he's like, I'm going to take a gun and I'm going to get on this roof? What drives a 20-year-old to do something like that? I just don't get. He has to have had some sort of...
I don't know. Did we ever find out anything more about him?
I don't know. His parents called in a few hours before saying he was missing. It's just, what prompts somebody to do this and to try to... It's just insane.
Probably something going on that's pretty wrong with him.
Do you get demonetized on YouTube if you say edgy shit? Like some of these clips are a little bit edgy, and I don't know.
My live streams are usually never monetized. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
So make sure you guys donate to me because it's a rough world out here. Okay, I have to fly coach up to New York now. You can see that we couldn't afford insulation for the walls. We've got bare brick here. We're in an unfinished basement right now. Embarrassingly, I didn't want to say anything. Adam didn't bring it up, but we are in one of the, I think it's Trump Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty humiliating coming in.
There's one person helping us with the cameras, and it's a homeless dude you plucked off the street. Basically, just we had to guide him through it all.
Yeah, although he's homeless, but he makes 120,000 a year. But as progressives say, that's not enough money to live off of anymore. So 120K a year is basically homeless. But yeah, do we? Oh.
Yeah, let's watch some of these. I was at this intro. So I went to DC Wednesday.
Are we watching clips of you?
Yeah, I just want to, dude, here's what I need. I need content for my channel because I'm taking the day off traveling and shit. So this is going to be something my editor.
Are you allowed to watch stuff of me, or will your audience like fucking revolt against you?
I always get comments.
Because anytime I do stuff with like Dean or...
Oh yeah, I always get comments about you. They're always like, hey, you know Destiny wants to kill all Black Lives Matter protesters? And I'm just like, I really don't.
Just the ones in swing states.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
We could just watch a few of these because I really do need a video to get up while I'm traveling. You get it. So this one, this is Roger Stone's nephew, Alex Stone. And I saw him in a rally. And you know, a lot of this naturally builds off what we were talking about because this dude doesn't trust anybody around him. I don't know. I just want to see what you think about some of these clips.
Oh, I will. I can't see what we were saying, but just real quick. If we are on the wide, for my birthday or for Christmas, I don't know which one, Anna, the Ukrainian lady, made me a DGG guy with a yellow heart. How cute is that?
That is
you guys see him on the
incredibly
sign?
cute. Where'd you get this sign right here? Like off Etsy or some shit?
No. We had another homeless guy come in and make it.
Okay.
Thank
yeah.
you